Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, how can I fulfill the purpose God has for my life if I can't even remember what I walked into the room to do? That was one of the questions that changed my life. Many of you have heard pieces of my story before, so I won't bore you telling the whole thing again. But I remember thinking, Lord, you called me to teach, to write, to encourage, to speak, to help people. How can I do that if my memory keeps failing me? I wasn't worried about getting older. I was worried about fulfilling my purpose. I had no idea that that one question would start me on a journey that would completely change my life. And what's so amazing is that years later, many of my coaching clients tell me the very same thing. They didn't just lose weight. They tell me, my brain fog is gone. I can remember things again. I finally feel like myself. That is why this newly published article caught my attention this week. Researchers are asking a fascinating question. Could the way we fuel our brain affect our mood, memory, and mental health? Let's talk about it. If you're tired of sugar cravings, brain fog, fatigue, and all the conflicting health and diet advice, and you just want to know what's happening inside of your body, you're in the right place. I'm TaShawn Davis, holistic health coach, registered nurse, and metabolic health educator. I help you break sugar cravings through balanced blood sugar so you can take your health back naturally. So grab your favorite sugar-free drink, pop in those earbuds, and let's learn how to work with our body and not against it. All right, before we jump in, I want to personally invite you to the free event I'm hosting this Sunday. It's called Could Your Diabetes Be Reversible? It's going to be at the Alafaya Branch Library in Orlando, Florida, July 12th from 4 to 5:15. We are actually going to be doing a whole tour this Sunday, next Sunday at the library, 4 o'clock, and then July 29th, encore assisted living from 2 to 4. So, very, very excited. We'll also be streaming it live on Facebook for you all who are not in the same state as me. It is also for if you've been diagnosed with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, simply trying to understand your body and why it's not responding the way you'd hope. So it's for everybody. The Eventbrite registration link is in the show notes. Now let's jump into today's episode. Today, the day that I'm recording, July 8th, researchers published a study in the growing field of metabolic psychiatry. It's the first randomized controlled study that they have done for people using a ketogenic diet to help with schizophrenia and bipolar. I will have the article in the show notes. It's fascinating because it showed improvement to this area. It showed improvement with people with schizophrenia and bipolar, a lot of psychological diseases that people don't think can be improved. But with this intervention of ketogenic diet, they were able to see results. So I'm excited because this is what I've been teaching for decades, and yeah, it's amazing that this physiology and why it works and how it works, especially for our brain, is being studied. So let's not let that term metabolic psychiatry scare you. Here's what it means in simple language. Researchers are asking, could the health of our metabolism influence the health of our brain? Not because food will magically cure every mental condition, not because every case of anxiety is caused by blood sugar, but because the brain is an organ and every organ needs energy. That might sound simple, but for years we've often thought about mental health as only a chemical problem. Researchers are now exploring whether brain energy may also be a part of the conversation, and I think that's fascinating. Here's something most people don't know: your brain makes up only about 2% of your body weight, yet it uses approximately 20% of your body's energy every single day. Think about that. Every conversation, every memory, every decision, every prayer, every Bible verse you want to remember, every time you solve a problem, your brain needs energy. If energy production isn't working efficiently, could that affect how we think? Researchers are exploring that very question. Now, let's talk about why blood sugar matters. Imagine your brain is a beautiful home. Electricity has to reach every room for the lights to work. Now, imagine the power keeps flicking on and off. Some lights dim, some lights blink, some don't work as well. Blood sugar can be similar. When glucose is constantly rising and falling, the brain has to adapt to those changes. Over time, researchers are exploring whether insulin resistance and impaired energy metabolism may influence brain function in some people. So this could be a possible cause, and metabolism may be the missing part of the puzzle. And I believe that this article shows it pretty strongly. What I continue to teach my clients, this is one of my favorite parts of coaching. People usually come to me because they want to lose weight, lower their A1C, get off of medications, reverse their insulin resistance. But then a few weeks later, they smile and say, "TaShawn, I can think again. I haven't felt this clear in years. My memory is improving. I'm not searching for words like I used to." I love these moments when my patients come to me because they're reminders that health isn't so much about the numbers on the scale, but about holistic health. Everything gets better. I see it time and time again. Now, let's not forget your brain loves healthy fats. Did you know that the brain is made up of 60% fat by dry weight? That means we should not fear fat. Healthy fats are important building blocks of our brain. Your body also uses cholesterol to build hormones, cell membranes, vitamin D, bile acids, and so much more. That reminds us that we need real nourishment for our bodies, not fewer calories, but nutrient dense foods that will fuel our brain. This is where it gets exciting. Ketones. Most people think glucose is the only fuel that the brain uses. It isn't. Your brain actually prefers ketones because it's a cleaner burning fuel. Researchers are actively studying ketones in areas like epilepsy, Alzheimer's, and other neurological conditions because they may provide an alternative energy source for the brain. Keto was invented in 1926, I believe, because of children with epilepsy. So it's not a new intervention. I love it because it's really bringing awareness. And now we finally have the opportunity to see people actually reverse diseases and get well instead of just maintaining. So, what can you do this week? Become curious. Ask yourself, how's my memory, my mood, my focus, my sleep, and how's my blood sugar? Are you eating enough real food? Eating protein and healthy fats? You want to prioritize those when you're eating. Cut the sugar and carbs. And have a talk with your healthcare provider about any symptoms that you're experiencing. Maybe they need to take better testing. Sometimes the first step toward healing isn't finding another supplement, but it's asking better questions. In Psalms 139, it says, "I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made." God's creation is amazing because the fingerprints of God are all throughout the human body. He didn't give you a brain simply so you could remember where you left your keys. Your brain is to create, to love, encourage, to remember His promises, and to fulfill the purpose He placed inside of you. That's why your health matters so much, because your purpose matters. Friend, if today's episode has encouraged you, I'd love to invite you to my seminars, to this tour. Come to the tour. If you are in Central Florida, I highly recommend that you be in the place. It's very interactive. It's not a boring sit down lecture. We'll be touching things and doing things and seeing things and questions and answers come, but you must register for the metabolic intensive by August 15th. That will be our last in person event. So please be in the house so that you can get all the information. August 15th, we'll have your notebooks and your beautiful things that you will be bringing with you each week to participate in the metabolic intensive. So if this podcast has helped you or blessed you, please remember, y'all, write a review. It helps more people get this information. And it's my 1 year anniversary for my book, Uproot the Craving. Sugar Deception is next month. So if anything has helped you in those, please write a review. Also, the second half of our event on August 22nd will be a big old party, a barbecue low carb party that we're going to have at Encore to celebrate my 1 year anniversary for my books. So be in the house. If you have a book, bring it. I can sign them for you. So until next time, remember you are needed in this hour. God bless you. Alrighty, my friend. If this episode has helped you understand your body a little bit better and helped you have the confidence to make better informed healthcare decisions, share it with someone you know who may be struggling with sugar cravings, brain fog, or fatigue, because they may not even realize that blood sugar could be the reason. And also leave a review because it really helps more people find this. Remember, the goal is to reverse 1 million type 2 diabetes in my lifetime. And as always, I want to remind you the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And some people are fighting every day just to have the health and energy to live their everyday life that they were called to live. So I am praying for your health. I am praying for your strength. And I'll see you in the next episode.